Hello, in this video we're going to continue to talk about the equation of a line. If you missed the last video, go back and check that out. Now when you're given the equation of a line, which I've given here 4 different times in 4 different questions, we actually know everything, absolutely everything about the line then. We know every point, that's infinite different points, millions of them. We know every single one of them, and we also know the slope. We know the angle the line is pointing at pretty much. Now there's 3 pieces of information we usually take away from the equations of a line. So that is, let me just draw a generic line. How about this one here? The 3 pieces of information are m, so the slope of a line. We're very interested in that usually. And we're often interested in the x-intercept. That's where the line hits the x-axis. And the y-intercept, which of course is where the line hits the y-axis. So I'm going to show you how, I'll use the first one as an example. I'll show you how to take these 3 pieces of information out of a equation. And then, of course, I'd like you to try it with the others. But I'll show you the answers then. Feel free to pause it and try with the first one as well. Now, let me write the first one down again. Y is equal minus a half x plus 2. Now, the first one is really easy because once we write any equation like this, we rearrange it so the y is on its own. The slope is very easy to get this way because what the slope is when x moves, how much does y move? And really, that's what this number here tells us. So it's really just the number in front of the x tells us what m is. So in part 1, the answer to this question is m equals minus a half. I'm just reading it here. Even better in this question, there's another answer already there of the 3 things I want. The slope and these 2 points. But to point that out, let me explain a couple of other things. This point here we'll start with, the less obvious one, the x-intercept. I know one thing about this already. I know the number of y. I don't know the number of x, but I know the number of y. Y is equal to 0 here. It's equal to 0 here, it's equal to 0. It's equal to 0 everywhere on this line. So no matter, I don't know if it looks like this, no matter where it hits, y is going to equal 0. So let me make a bit of room for myself here. Let me rub this out, because that's just a made up picture. I'll even rub out the m here. We'll write that over here. M is equal minus a half. And then I'll write x intercept. I'll just write x and I'll write y. And we're going to get 2 points for these guys. So that's what I want. I want the m and where it hits the x-axis and where it hits on the y-axis. Okay, so, well, I'll draw the picture again actually here. So this point, and the m. Okay, so this guy, like I said, y is equal to 0. Well, here's an equation, and here's a y, so I just put 0 in. 0 equals minus a half x plus 2. Now, you could do this in your head, maybe just think what number has to be here to make this make sense, but let's do it with maths, I think. First of all, let's get this guy to be a plus. We'll move him, we'll add to both sides. So add to the left side, we just get a half x. We just add a half x to both sides. A half x added to this side will make it disappear. So a half x equals 2. Let's get rid of this 2 here. We'll multiply both sides by 2. And we're left with 1x. I'll just write as x. 2 multiplied by 2 is 4. Well, that's it. X equals 4. And again, like I said, some people could have done this in their head, because half of what will become minus 2 basically, or minus a half of what will become minus 2. So 4 had to go in there to make all this equal 0. So yeah, 4. So the answer of the x-axis is 4 and 0. So this picture isn't actually right. Let me rub that out. And we now know this guy hits around about here. And we also know minus a half, actually that tells us something already, and I could draw this. Minus a half tells me minus means it goes down, a half means it goes down slightly. So it looks something like this. I can guess then this answer here will be 2, actually. But let's do the maths properly. Well, I don't have to because I just remembered something else. So the thing we know about this point is x is equal to 0. Well, x equals 0. That's easy to write in. Y is equal 0 multiplied by that is 0. So y equals 2. We're finished. We're finished. The answer was 2. Now I got it a different way. I just guessed from the minus a half. But that's it. That's it. I knew x is 0, so I know y is 2. That's why writing it this way is really useful. Writing it this way will tell us two of the answers, the slope and the y-intercept straight away. Okay, I'd love you to try it with the next few parts. Pause the video. I'll go straight into the answers now in a moment. Okay, so I want to get 3 pieces of information. Well, here's how I would always answer this. I would always make it look like y equals. I would rearrange everything, so I would add 3y to both sides. X minus 2 is equal to 3y. I like to write y on the left, so let's just switch these around. 3y is equal x minus 2. Divide everything by 3. 3 is equal 1 divided by 3. X minus 2 divided by 3. And that tells us a lot of information already. It tells us m is equal 1/3. It tells us the y-intercept is at x is 0 and minus 2 over 3. It tells us all that already. And all I need to get is x, the x-intercept. Now for the x-intercept, I will point out we don't need it to look like this. This is really useful to get 2 of the numbers. But it's not especially useful to others. I showed you in the last part how to use it like this. But let's go ahead and use the original number maybe. Because the x-intercept, we still know y is 0. It's really important. So I can just write this out again. X minus 0. I don't have to write minus 0. So x plus 2 equals 0. X is equal minus 2. Minus 2. Very quick to get most of these. Especially if you do the hard bit first and get y equals. Okay, let me do part 3. I'll do it a slightly different way this time. I'll rub the answers out here and we'll leave this as a template. So for part 3, let's do it a little different. Let's answer these 2 guys first. And remember, we already know x is 0 for this guy, and we already know y is 0 for this guy. So let's find y axis first. X is 0, so let's just put a hand over that I often do, or in my copybook a finger. So that just means minus 10y equals 11. Divide both sides by minus 10. We get y is equal minus 11 over 10. That's it, we're done on that one. Again, I can do the same with this guy. Y is 0. Put my hand over that and I get 7x equals 11. Well, x equals 11 over 7. 11 over 7. And we're done those 2 points. But then it is a little harder to get m. We don't have to do what I did the other 2 parts. We don't have to make it look like y equals. We can just use the 2 points. We know the formula for it. M is equal y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And we have all the points we want. We have x1, y1, x2 and y2. So let's just fill this out. That is 0 minus 11 over 10. I'm just writing the numbers I see into this, divided by 11 over 7 minus 0. Let's clean this up. 0 doesn't matter, but minus, that becomes a plus. 11 over 10. And minus 0 doesn't matter, so that's 11 over 7. Let's see, that is equal to 11 over 10. We flip to divide by a fraction, we flip it upside down and multiply. So that's 7 over 11, and that's equal to 77 over 110. Actually, you know what? Much easier way. What am I doing? 11 divides into 11. So that is equal to 7 over 10. And that's what the slope is, 7 over 10. So that's a few different ways to do them. And now for part 4, what I'll do is I'll just leave that. I'll leave you guys to do that on your own. Put in the comments below if you need help with it. Ask me any questions and I'll do my best to help you out.